elevator here and a staircase. You can't stand behind them, it's common sense.
Should I slide down this bitch?
I want to show you guys a property that's near and dear to our hearts. It's the first property that my dad purchased back in 1996 it was. It's an interesting story with this property. I'll explain it when we get there. This building was purchased back in the mid-90s for $750,000. My dad purchased this building from the bank. It was foreclosed on. Someone took a $1.5 million loan to build the building. So they built the whole building and then they ended up not having enough money to pay the mortgage. So they lost it to the bank. My dad came in, he bought it from the bank for a really good price. And since then, he's rented it up, put Dunkin' Donuts in there. He put the fruit stand in there. And then he also put the physical therapy office in there. But around the corner, there's a smoke shop. That smoke shop was his business. He was running the smoke shop. Then he sold the smoke shop. We don't run the smoke shop anymore, but we collect rent from everybody here. The building is like a little over 10,000 square feet. Another interesting thing about this building is it's one of the highest buildings in all of Seaford. And Verizon came to us and they wanted to put a cell tower on top of the building. And they do long leases and they pay up front. So we made a deal with Verizon for a 40-year lease to keep their cell towers up there. They paid us $600,000. Just with that money, we went and bought 2 7-Elevens. So from this building, just over time, with inflation, with collecting cash flow, paying down the mortgage, it's just been a home run building. I'm sure wherever you live, you see buildings like this all the time that don't look like anything, but they're worth a lot of money and they make a lot of money. So we purchased this building for $750,000. It's worth between $3.5 to $4 million today. So the rent roll for this building is about $36,000 a month. The fruit stand pays about $12,000 a month. The Dunkin' Donuts pays about $11,000 a month. The smoke shop pays about $6,500 a month. And the physical therapy office pays about $6,500 a month. Because the physical therapy is on the second floor, they don't have to pay as much as being on the ground level. Ground level is worth a lot more because it's just easier to access and you don't have to go up steps or an elevator. So that's why it's worth so much more money. One thing to also note why this property works so well is there's a Stop and Shop pretty much in the same parking lot. We don't own the Stop and Shop, but there's a great flow between the Stop and Shop and the tenants here. People go to the Stop and Shop, then they come, they get their cigarettes and whatever they need from the smoke shop. They get their coffee, they go shop, and there's a great dynamic of flow here. I'll take you guys upstairs so you can see what the inside of the building looks like. All right, guys, right here you can see this is the office here with the physical therapy office over there. A couple bathrooms, the elevators over here. There's a staircase here that we use every day. And then you could also get to the Dunkin' from inside the lobby here. We're on the roof of the building here. As you can see, if you look out there, we can see the roof of all the buildings pretty much in Seaford because this is one of the highest buildings in Seaford. That's why Verizon came to us to put the cell towers here. You can see here, these are the cell towers all here and over there as well. It was just a great opportunity because we bought the building and Verizon paid us pretty much almost what we paid for the building just to rent cell towers here for 40 years. The cell towers have no cost to us. They don't bother us in any way. They're literally on the roof and we don't even notice that they're here. Bought us another 2 properties that we made even more money from, which is great. In real estate, you always want to maximize your property's potential. And there's a million different ways you can do that. And this is just one of them. And it's kind of a crazy thing that you would never even think of, but you know, companies are paying to use buildings for all sorts of things. You know, we've had movie sets come to use 7-Elevens and just other random properties and pay us to rent it for the day. There's a lot of different ways that owning property and commercial property can generate you a lot of money in ways that you wouldn't even imagine. All right, guys, to give a quick recap, we bought this building for $750,000 years ago. With time and inflation, we collected rent. Time went on, the building value went up. We made some small improvements here and there, added the correct tenants for the space, and we're making $432,000 a year now. The building went from being worth $750,000 to close to $4 million. Verizon came to us, put cell towers on the roof, gave us a check for $600,000. We bought more buildings with that and changed our lives completely. and made it so much better. And if you want to get into it and learn about it, stay tuned on the channel. And I'm going to be teaching you guys how to get into it and how it works and pretty much everything you need to know. I'll see you guys in the next one.